Zoloft to get your head right.
Head right time, baby. What's up, y'all? Welcome to TZL Unprescripted. Let us talk about some crazy stuff that came across my desk. Actually, this is crazy in a good way, right? And I hope you guys check out the song that I did with 20 Pound Sledge, which is now Sledge X, but 25 from the Divine Battery album. Crazy, and I like it. There's a good kind of cray to be because, you know, as far as the left wing is concerned, we're the crazy ones, right? We're the nut, you know, the ones that are nuts because when we're like, if you're born a man, that's basically how you're gonna die. You're gonna die, man. You're born a woman, you're gonna die a woman. Is it no matter, you can't change that, right? So we're the crazy ones, you know, we're the crazy ones for saying, actually that child in the womb, that's a human being. You can't be depriving that kid of rights. You're crazy and it's not really a person. And so we're the crazy ones. So there's a good kind of cray to be. And that being said, I hope you guys will check out the crazy good idea that Bill Whittle's got. He's been working on for a long time. This project that he invited me into, and I'm really grateful to be part of it. And so check out the video, one of his latest videos, Invisible. And he's going to give you this breakdown about, you know, basically taking the conservative message to the culture, this uncharted territory that he's going to show with this pie chart. Right. So I don't want to, you know, ruin it. You know, me trying to explain it the way that he tries to explain it. It ain't gonna work. So you guys go over there and you check it out. And, you know, but the gist of it is that there is a fan base of animation and a gamer demographic to tap into. And I want to talk a little bit, you know, about not so much about what he says, but maybe talk about some of the responses to it. Also, and I want to talk about the effect, the angle that's been so greatly taken for granted, or just has had this dismissive disposition against it, y'all. As Bill says, you can't lecture your way out of what we've been entertained into. You know, the left has capitalized, despite hating capitalism so much, these roots of that they don't like, but they have capitalized and have made insane use of the free market to destroy the free market. It's just, and they're able to use these things to destroy better than we've been able to use these things to promote our own values and preserve the republic, right? So that's a dang shame. But you've got these liberals doing like even when conservatives get excited about stuff like, say, like Disney's imploding, right? Disney's a big part of how we got here in the first place. All right. And they used animation to do it. They've been a big part of the culture and introducing their poison a little bit at a time. Right. This first description of the devil, y'all, a serpent. Right. He works in subtleties. That's the first description about him. He's subtle, right? Well, Disney just got greedy. You know that thing they claim to hate so much, right? They tried to do a full push too fast, right? And now they're imploding. But you guys are seeing this rapid implosion now, but over decades, they've been introducing that poison. And it got us to where we are. Okay, so now here's the thing. Is it great that people are, I guess, waking up to the so-called wokeness, right, of what Disney's doing? That's fine. That's good. But once you get this victory, don't become complacent. Once you get the victory, you got to keep it. Because we've had the victory before and lose it, right, in big ways. So what Bill is doing is like, okay, we get this, but this is how we need to guard it and make sure that we're on point with it. You know, the entertainment angle, that's just an angle that we just have not exploited. We haven't poured into that. And like I said, it's because, you know, when it comes to conservatives, it's just in the personality matrix that people were just wired more for practicality, whereas liberals are wired for imagination. That's just where they live, right? Everything about their worldview is imaginary. So, but we want to be able to connect with them in a way that they understand. Use creative and imaginative means to connect with them, capture their attention, and then deliver the truth to them. That's what we want to be able to do. You know, so Bill is basically talking about animating an army, right? These people who like the escapism of games, right? And see, that's the thing about it. With liberalism, it's all escapism. It's all fantasy. But their fantasy, y'all, has real world consequences. Real world, it creates real world complications. But they do create a world that's dazzling, it's mesmerizing, you know, and that's where, you know, a lot of these gamers are. And they want to have these, they want the visual stimulation, the auditory stimulation. They want it to be very, realistic and very seamless with all these things that they're trying to do. So that's that imagination land. You know, that's the part of them that liberals are able to tap into. But the things that they want to do, you know, wanting to be the hero and stuff like that. I mean, it cracks me up. You know, liberals, they claim to hate guns and all this sort of stuff, but they love to have movies and video games with guns and all that sort of stuff. They love the empowerment. You know, with superheroes. How do we let superheroes fall to liberalism? How do we? I mean, dang, liberalism just came in with the kryptonite and just took over that whole thing. And it doesn't make any sense because everything about superheroes is antithetical to what they believe, but they took it over. Wonder Woman, like a champion of feminism for liberals in the feminist movement. How does she get her answers? She gets her answers, the truth, with a rope that tortures people, right? Wonder Woman gets you in her rope, and you're going to start to get really uncomfortable. You're going to feel a burning sensation until it gets too hot for you to handle, and you start telling the truth. But the truth that they tell is credible. They're always saying you can't get truth from torturing a person. And they're not, how do you know that? But it works for Wonder Woman. It's okay if she does it, right? So, I mean, these people are they're so at odds with everything that they believe. And with the gamers and animation and the comic book community and all that sort of stuff, they're kind of all tied together in this culture. So connecting with them is a really important thing. It's like, look, man, there's certain things that we know that you appreciate, and we can meet you there, right? Let's meet there. And because there's what you're stimulated by what you see, these imaginative and creative things that you see, and these things that you hear to accentuate the experience. But the things that you're doing with this imaginative field, well, that's where we come in, right? You're wanting to defend territory, things like that. You have these goals that you're trying to achieve, right? There's certain rules of engagement or whichever, and how you're going to go about by, achieving what it is that you want. Well, that's where we come in, you know? So in doing that, we can meet them there and start to and once they have, because they're engaged in this imagery, in this being stimulated with imagination, now we've made a connection, right? Because we've given that thing to them that has drawn them in the first place. And then from there, we can start connecting with principles, right? It can be done. All right. So let me give you this example also, y'all. I came across, we was talking about this a little bit in the last virtue signal that Bill and I did. And there's, just kind of like looking for movies to watch, I stumbled across, I saw a one pop up for a movie called Bob the Street Cat, or a street cat named Bob, right? Cats are cool, man. I don't want to see a street savvy cat. I don't know if that's what the movie's about, but I was kind of like scanning through it, and I saw a scene in it where the principal character, he's really down on his luck and he's hungry, and I guess he was able to play some guitar and was able to get $3 quid. I think that's the proper money amount. And the cashier is telling him, well, if you want a steak, it's 9 quid, right? And he's like, man, I only got 3 quid. And the steak is like sitting right there, and it's like, okay, you want to eat this steak, man? Well, it's 9 quid. It's right there. It's like right under his nose, It's like, man, all I got is 3. I think, like I said, I think that's the right amount. And he's like, no, man, it's 9. And because the dude couldn't come up with it, he's like, man, I'm hungry. This is all I have. And the guy just takes the steak and throws it in the sink, like right there before his very eyes, right? And he's like, Oh, and you could feel it. You could feel before you even scroll to the comments, you know that's one of the things that they're going to zero in on in this whole movie. Is that part right there where the greedy restaurant worker or owner, whatever he was too greedy to give him the steak, right? Too greedy to give him, so he throws the steak. Well, he would rather throw the steak away than to give the homeless person the steak. Now, that's not the most sad part about it. I mean, it'd be really sad, of course, if it was like a real, scene that you documented. But this is animation, and this happens in real life too. So I don't want the misunderstanding of what I'm saying is really sad. I'm talking about in terms of what's sad and what it does with the people's imagination, right? And these things have real world consequences. The sad part of this is that people imagine that this is the fault of capitalism. That's the sad part. And that imaginary aspect of it has real world consequences. More that are even more sad. But see, for a long time, entertainment has been used to vilify capitalism, where capitalism doesn't even have anything to do with what happened. Capitalism has nothing to do with a restaurant owner denying a person a steak and throwing it away. That's not capitalism. Okay, so you got these people in there saying, this is why I hate capitalism. And capitalism is evil this and capitalism is evil that. And I guess, this is a movie that was made in Europe, anyway. So I guess, they've got these prejudices against the capitalist bourgeoisie, right? So, and these things, once again, they don't even really go together. It's like they take capitalism as this just cornerstone of immorality, right? And capitalism is not that at all. Capitalism actually helps to facilitate charity and the ability to actually be moral. Socialism and communism is institutionalized immorality. It is the state taking license to steal from people, to give it to whomever, and to redistribute it according to whom they deem entitled to it. That's you're basically instituting covetousness. We want what you have, and then theft, and we're going to take it from you, and then we're going to ration it to somebody else and keep most of it for ourselves. That's socialism. Well, it's sad that people have taken this to be as some virtuous model. It's not. You're totally suckered by that if you think that it is. Absolutely, you have made it legal, and for the state to have power to just come in and steal from people, jack the fruits of somebody else's labor, and then ration it to somebody else to keep them appeased and pacified and suckered, pandering to the proletariat, patronizing the poor as if they've really got this hope in the state. And it doesn't satisfy. You're always going to have people out there who think, and it doesn't matter what model you're in, people are always going to think that they're going to be wanting more. But capitalism doesn't facilitate that. It just doesn't. Right? Capitalism is a thing where you don't have it. When you have socialism and communism, you got people looking for ways to try to keep their money. They're looking for, because the government is always kind of looking for ways to take it. So you're going to have people cutting corners, trying to dodge them regulations, trying to dodge them fees, trying to dodge the taxes, and these levies against them, trying to do what they can to do all these things. That's what you end up getting with socialism and communism. People trying to, trying to survive. The greed of the state. Capitalism doesn't do that. And anything else that you do that may be supposedly illegal, whether you're trying to cut corners or you're paying people sub rosa or anything like that, that has nothing to do with capitalism. That's that own person's disposition of being greedy. And even greedy, trying to do business by being greedy, that ain't going to work out very good. People think that people set their prices based on greed. No, they don't. They set their prices based on where they're buying the resources available to them. What is this vendor going to cost for me to be able to put my stuff together? They got to consider those costs, right? Then the cost of what the state's going to charge and all that sort of stuff. The cost to deliver it and all the things like that. The cost of their employees. They have to round all that up. Economics 101, man, you don't get rich off of overcharging people. The lower you set your cost, the more chance you have to make money. All right, it's the people who do business understand it. While you got a lot of people out there who hate capitalism so much, think that people set their costs by greed. No, that doesn't work. You don't set your costs by greed and say, oh man, I'm going to raise the price way up here and I'm going to make so much money. Chances are, no, you're not. Unless you are appealing to a demographic in that kind of income bracket where you have a kind of a product who want to have like this prestigious, who are into things like that, who want to be able to buy, I guess, the most exclusive product or something like that. Unless you have a product where you're doing that and you know who you're selling to, yeah, you can get away with stuff like that. But for the most part, no, you can't. You can't set your prices way up here and expect it. Oh, I'm gonna be rolling in it. No, you set your prices down here, right? And you'll sell more of your stuff. Then you'll be rolling in it. It's like these liberals thinking that, oh, if the state comes in and they set rent costs, if they do rent control, well, you're going to be disappointed, right? You're going to have people in there making 6-figure income, living in the same place that they've been and enjoying that low rent. And that rent that person is enjoying is going to get rolled over onto the next tenant who's coming in. And so what, you thought that you was going to be able to pay $600 a month like this person was able to like 15 years ago? No. No, you're not. Your rent is going to get jacked up to like $2,000 a month to compensate for what this person was still able to enjoy. And then guess what we have? We got this person making 6-figure income, sitting in his apartment, being able to retain all that money while somebody else can't afford to be there. And guess where they end up? Probably homeless. That happens a lot. All right. So or you may notice that, these places, they don't get kept up very well. The cost of that stuff, to be able to maintain that building. But it's like you guys act like, these liberals out there who hate capitalism so much, they act like they want for people to work for slave labor. While they're telling people we need to increase in minimum wage, you're making it to where people have to work for lower wages. Or not have a job at all because they can't afford it because, well, you're not helping them be able to collect that rent. You guys are the ones putting people out of jobs. Trying to make everything cost so much, acting like everybody's entitled to make like the same kind of money that a person has to trade for. You guys are costing people. Your socialist appeal to the proletariat, you're the one costing people. Capitalism doesn't do that, So like I said, but in this situation with this guy in the restaurant where these people let their imaginations run wild, trying to judge capitalism, which had nothing to do with this guy throwing away the steak. And these people out there all sanctimoniously talking about, oh, we throw so much food away. And he could have given it. Look, okay, there's reasons why this food gets thrown away. And a big part of the reason why the food gets thrown away is because of y'all. When you have this litigious society who just always claim to be victims and always claiming for justice, stuff like that, somebody eats that food and may get, sick or anything like that, or try to use some excuse to say that they got sick. Well, I got this food from this restaurant, I got this food and I got sick, and now they want to sue the restaurant, right? Or maybe do something else to try to make themselves sick. And try to sue the restaurant because they got free food. People do that. The liability that you got, as litigious as you people are, the liability that these people are afraid of causes them to not give away free food. They have to go through this red tape in order to be able to give food away. Sometimes they can't even, they're like, look, man, I'm going to take this food down to the food bank. You want it? No. Can't even do that. Y'all do that. You guys do it. It's not the restaurant. It's like, look, a person would be happy to let people come in and glean from their fields. All right, that's biblical. If you got a surplus stuff, let them glean from it. That's fine. They got to come get it. But yeah, go ahead. And glean from it. That's great. Anybody would want to do that. But y'all are the ones who make it difficult for people to be able to do that because you want all these laws and you want all this red tape and you have such a litigious disposition and just you want free money. You want free everything. Right? And a way to sue people for y'all is a free way to get money. People are just looking to get paid. So restaurants can't enjoy just giving away free food. And not only that, so where you guys think that a restaurant could just give away free food or it's so horrible that he would just rather throw that steak away. It's like, okay, well, according to your narrative, anybody should just be able to walk in. Right, I'll go ahead and put on some shabby clothes, right? And grind myself up a little bit and walk into a restaurant, and order a steak and say, hey man, I only got $3, right? Well, this steak costs $20. I only got $3, man. I hadn't eaten in days, right? Can you hook it up? Well, there you go. I get a free steak. According to anybody, there'd be a line of that. There'd be a line of it. It looked just like socialism, right? Be a line of people showing up in that bread line. Man, can I get that bread? Can you ration me some bread? That restaurant will go out of business. That's what you guys are wanting to do. Put people that's why they don't give food away, dude. That's why they just throw it away. Because according to y'all, anybody could just walk in there and say, man, I hadn't eaten in days. Oh, well, you're entitled to a free steak. That's your reward. You'd be like, wow, eat 3 days? Man, that's a record. 3 days, man, just give this guy a steak dinner. Anybody could do that. That's why they don't make it a habit. Because if they did, that homeless person, hey, man, I just got a free steak dinner. Go out and tell his friends, right? After he makes sure he ate his steak, though. You don't be walking around with a free steak meal, I get jacked, right? You say, man, you go to this restaurant, man, they'll hook you up. Just tell them you hadn't eaten in a while. That restaurant will go out of business. Is that what you guys want? I mean, that's because that's what your worldview costs. That's what it causes, man. You guys are putting people out of business right now. Right? So from there, the other thing is that these people talking about, how much food we throw. It just disgusts me. These capitalists disgust me with how much food they throw away. They throw away so much food. They throw away so much food. It's like, okay, according to y'all, if all that food is really thrown away, well, then the homeless definitely wouldn't be hungry. They wouldn't be hungry, right? So you're saying that they throw away all this food. I mean, that's a smorgasbord out back then. That means that they eat better than we do, right? Why? Just because you didn't put it on a plate and serve it to them on a table, that means they don't have anything to eat? No, they just go right around back where all that food that you say is thrown away and go in there and get them a dinner just as good as any of the rest of us have because we throw so much food away. The dumpsters are overflowing. They're overflowing with food, according to you guys. Well, the homeless, they ain't got a problem then, right? So a lot of times, y'all, and speaking as a person who's been homeless myself, and being with a lot of people, there's many reasons why people are homeless. Sometimes, some people just got the rug of life got pulled up from underneath them. Okay. And there's to a degree which a person can get knocked down, man, that is nothing to sneeze at. You know what I'm saying? That puts people on the streets. A lot of times it's not that though. A lot of times what gets a person homeless is because of pride, right? They're too proud to like work, right? It's like they're at a job and they think that they deserve better. They don't want to clean up their attitude and all that sort of stuff. They don't want to conform, right? There's good kinds of conformity and there's bad kinds of conformity, y'all, right? There's a kind of conformity that is good that they don't want to conform to. They just don't. They got too much pride. Weird thing is, despite all that pride, when they get hungry, they'll go into a trash can. That doesn't seem to be, add up to pride as the way that man sees pride, or going out there and begging for another man or woman to give them some money. I guess the pride factor doesn't step in as far as that goes. But in terms of actually working to be able to say, I've done this job, may I have my return? But there's a lot of that out there. There's the alcoholism. There's the drugs. Right? You oftentimes say, hey, you go to give a person, they're asking for money, say, hey man, I've got some food for you. And you're like, I don't want no food. I want money, right? I want to get my drink. I want to get some cigarettes. I want to get some drugs. Get a lot of that too. So there's a lot of that on the street, but with the liberal mindset, they imagine that it's not that. And they make these narratives of where it's every aspect of it is that a person was just down on their luck and got dealt a bad hand of cards. And y'all, that does happen. It is not the majority. All right. It's just not. But they want you to make you think. And the thing that keeps them there is capitalism, which is absolutely not true. Right. Capitalism ain't got nothing to do with that. Capitalism, y'all. Unfortunately, the worst sellers of capitalism is the very people who claim to be the proponents of it. your Republicans and your conservatives, which used to be, like peas in a pod, that now they don't even understand each other. Lincoln was there. Lincoln was, when the Democrats try to call themselves conservatives, like Lincoln's like, the hell you are. All right. The real conservatives right here. All right. We stick to and adhere to and conserve to those principles of the founding fathers, those principles of old. Right. Hence the grand old party. That's where Lincoln was. You guys trying to call yourselves conservative. No, no, you're tranny. No, you're not. You're trying to claim to be something that you're not. All right. So, with capitalism, conservatives and Republicans, they make it too complicated. And they themselves are a big part of the cause why liberals are able to vilify it so much, because even conservatives act like it's about making money. It's not about making money. You can make money in socialism. That's not what it's about. It's about what happens after you make the money. All right. Basically, capitalism is taxing outcome, not income. That's basically what it is. Conservatives try to make it more than that, and dude, it's not. You guys make it to where it's a hard sell for anybody else to understand, and you make it easy for them to vilify. Capitalism is basically, look, you do not have the right to intrude on somebody else's property. Capitalism recognizes the right to property. You make that income, that's your property. The state has no claim to it. Property taxes, capital gains, is like, no, this is my property, right? Now there's a way we have a tax model, the original tax model, how we're supposed to be taxed. When you get taxed, when you make a voluntary transaction. Voluntary. All right, that's where the government is supposed to be able to go ahead and because the government is the one who has made it, they're the ones who guard us being able to do business together. That's their job. They make it, they're supposed to guard our right to life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and property, or per Constitution, the pursuit of property. Or property. Sorry about that. Okay? Life, liberty, property. The government's job is to guard that. And in doing so, because they provide this service, when you make your voluntary transaction of that, their cut comes out of that. That neutral territory between you've got the money, they've got the product. You are going to make this exchange. When it exchanges hands, that neutral territory between there, that's where the government is the bridge. You see what I'm saying? Those are your excises. That's how we're supposed to be taxed when you make this voluntary. But a government is not supposed to levy against you. Not in this fashion. They can levy taxes concerning these excises and things like that. Sure. And adjust them accordingly. But you can't make it a provision to where you can infringe on somebody's property. That money, that earning is that person's property. The government's not allowed to take that. The 16th Amendment is antithetical to the Constitution. It ain't supposed to be in there. All right. But we've allowed it to happen. But all that to say, y'all, people, and I hope you guys will check out my audiobook, A Solid Right Cross. You can listen to it for free. I go more in depth on it, y'all. And like I said, it's a darn shame that the worst sellers of capitalism, people get out there and talk about capitalism. They make it look like, even God rest his soul, Rush Limbaugh made horrible cases for capitalism, right? Because he idolized Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs would be known for like jacking, it's like charity. I ain't giving it. No, man. Well, I'm trying to get this together. We're going to put a halt to this charity. And Rush Limbaugh be like, that's capitalism. No, it isn't. He would laud Steve Jobs as like the ultimate capitalist. And when Steve Jobs would start pulling back on charity givings, Rush Limbaugh would celebrate that as capitalism. Like, dude, what are you doing? That has nothing to do with capitalism. Nothing. Right? The freedom to be able to with your own resources. It's my resources, and I have the choice and to give away, X amount of money or used products or anything like that I can go ahead and give that stuff away. I don't do this to satisfy the state. The state is you got these liberals out there who think that it's charitable and virtuous to sign over your earnings and stuff like that for the state to get out there and ration. That's basically saying I'm not going to do anything while you steal from me. That's all you're doing, right? That's not charity at all. That's not even close to charity. Charity is when you have your own resources and you make your own decision, and by your own volition, you give away your money or you give away some resources or product, whichever. That's charity. All right. You guys take that away from us. You guys make it more. We do not have we can't freely give now. We can't. All right. It breaks my heart, man, when people out there who may need some food, may need some money, man. And y'all have made it to where, you can't freely do that anymore. It's like, look, man, the state already takes enough money. Haven't they taken enough money to help you guys? And now, and with the state taking this money, what do you guys want to do? You guys states out there, what do you want to do with that money that you took from us? Oh, you want to give people free crack pipes? What did you do with that money that you gave the power of the state to take away from? You make facilities for people to go ahead and shoot up. That's what you do. That's what you did with the money that you took from us. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't supposed to be doing stuff like that. And like I said, a big part of how this imagination is driven is because you have lots of productions out there always, pushing that poison in the culture, this wrong thinking in the culture, right? But I kind of want to get back to, with Bill's idea, and the responses, y'all, are quite positive. As if I don't mind saying, if you don't mind me saying, it should be positive. It's a great idea, right? And like I said, go check out his video. It'll be shorter than this one. He explains it very well, and I hope you guys support. Make sure you're praying for him and this project, because he's on to something, right? Something we've been talking about for a long time, right? And he's putting it into action. He's animating this army, right? So, he's spearheading this. But I want to read some these other responses. This is according to his video. These are kind of like some of the naysayer responses. Let's read some of those and see if we can, let's get past the nay on these and turn it into a yay. This is Jay Schwartz, who says, how do you video game the purple section to abandon the promises of free stuff from Democrats? This is the same part of the big purple pie that wants everything for free. The same demographic that doesn't want to assume financial responsibility for anything. The group that wants their college tuition debt erased, right? So let's stop right there. Or actually says, how do you do that? How do you get them to pull the lever for Republicans? How do you build that into the video game? Democrats promising everything for free is very enticing. All right. So I agree. Right. Well, once again, that's why we're talking about media. They're definitely not going to wake up to that if we avoid them. I hope, is that your plan? You just want to go ahead and ignore them? So while now you'll have those who say that these people are they're apolitical. They don't care about the politics and whatnot. Right. But you can't really honestly say that if they have these expectations of things that they should get for free. If they have these expectations, even if they're not doing anything in the political process, you still might want to connect with those expectations because they do have them, don't they? Right? So you're going to have to be able to connect with them where they are. And that's something that a lot of conservatives don't do. It's like they think that the politicians are going to be the answer for this. No, they're not. This is a whole, and from the chart that Bill is giving, right? You got this small percentage of where conservatives are reaching people, and you got this whole big demographic where they're not. Man, even if you were able to get like a quarter of the demographic that he's talking about, we'd still be in a good place. All right. So you want to go ahead and get out there and traverse those waters and start trying to get the message to these people. I've always thought it was kind of weird, man. Say for instance, like the NRA. You'd think that if somebody was able to create a first-person shooter game, it'd be them. It's like you don't want to help to take these principles and put it. And if they have done it, it's like maybe they didn't do a good job. I don't know. It's like what's your excuse to not be able to do that? But they don't. Why do you ignore these people? Why are they just Are they too, I don't know, are they beneath you? Did you have disgust for them because you guys get out there and, do real shoot 'em ups and stuff like that, but you don't like people who press like these buttons? These are people, they still dig the concept of it, having this skill and being able to go out and point and shoot at things. They like to be able to do that. That's something that y'all have in common. But y'all have blown off that, to help try to convey these values to them and say, hey, man, you obviously appreciate being able to do these things. Maybe you can appreciate doing these things for actually the right reason rather than just the selfishness of satisfying your need to be not bored. All right, because that's what a lot of the culture is. A lot of, now, even if you don't even have to be gamer culture, a lot of the culture, you look at for several years, you look into the eyes of the people just growing up, and it's like, your objective in life is just not be bored. Do you really even want to, lend a service to anybody? Or do you just want to, I know that you may want a prestigious job. You want to go to college for free and all that, and you want to get a great paying job for stuff that you want for free. It doesn't make any sense. Like I said, their whole worldview doesn't make any sense. But it's like they just don't want to be bored, right? And a lot of times lecturing people, as Bill says, you can't lecture your way out of what we were entertained to. Okay, you got to somehow, you confuse the two. You can actually make these things where it's like there's philosophies that they can learn about this stuff. And when these people get into these games, man, they do like reading the story arcs to these games and things, right? You mean to tell me that we're not innovative enough to be able to combine narratives and lessons? The liberals have used it, and remember, they gave this poison in doses. The lie that they have told them and to shape their worldview, they gave in doses. Even if the worldview is to just stay out of it, it's like, man, my vote doesn't count anyway, right? Why should I be involved? They got opinions. They got thoughts on these things. They have expectations, but they're like, why bother? So Democrats are happy to have them just go ahead and sit out. They'll get their vote anyway, even if they have to fake it. We've seen that, right? You don't need to show up to the voting booth. We got your name. That's all they need, right? So they're happy to just go ahead and have these people sit out. Do you want to pass that up? No. Make the effort. Take the effort to let's try to reach these people. And Bill's got a great plan on how to do it. Let me see. Now, I don't know. Now, that to be fair, I don't think this last person was so much a naysayer. He's asking legitimate questions. But like I said, the answer to that is, well, hey, we don't want to pass that up. Don't want to pay, even like I said, even if you don't get the majority of them, even if you only get a quarter of them, that's still that's still good, right? Let me see. There's another user. He calls himself James Glenn. Let's see. He says, lifelong gamer going back to NES and bona fide conservative since Clinton era. I follow gaming and politica like normal people follow sports, so I have some insights here. Let me see. I agree gamers are natural allies to conservatives based on their demonstrated interest, but listening to you here demonstrates some fundamental misunderstandings of the culture. Trying to attract gamers with conservative machinima will just make most of them roll their eyes. Gamers are intensely wary of anyone pretending to share their interests because heavy-handed attempts to exploit the market by faceless corporations are ubiquitous in the industry. Gamers are naturally apolitical. More than anything, they want to be left alone to play the games they like without judgment or harassment. They can be driven from one camp into the other, but not bailed into either. If you want to draw in gamers, just highlight all the ways that the left have been ruining gaming culture. Who says we weren't? Right? That's part of it. So now he makes a legitimate case. That ain't all of them. And you don't need, it's not even a point of getting most of them. And like I said, we don't want to be dismissive of any aspect of that. We want to try to connect with as many as we can. But yeah, it'd be foolish for us to think that we can reach all of them. But we want to, like I said, we want to at least take the effort. It's like you're going to have these people who are going to be saying, who's going to present the things that you can't do, right? So it's like, oh, what are you doing? Come on, man. The world is flat. Don't even bother. right? Well, I guess, if you say so, man, I guess if all these other people say so, man, I guess the world is flat, then, no, why bother, right? You want to do what? You want to find some country, or you want to establish this America. You want to get away from the crown and all that. So no, man, we ain't gonna do that, man. You asking to be swung from the gallows, dude. Well, all right, man. I guess if you ain't gonna go, we gonna get out of here, man, because this sucks. We out, right? Or even a more absurd, if you want to really get absurd about it, what are you talking about, man? Nobody's gonna buy it that you're a woman, right? Hey, come on, dude. And now, lo and behold, you can have a dude with a beard and an Adam's apple that looks like a flipping carrot sticking out of there. And if he says that he's a woman, you better believe it. All right, that's where we are. So, it's trying to tell somebody that they, that what people aren't going to go for. No, it's better that we try. Right? It's a broad enough field to try. So we're definitely going to want to do that. I agree that you're going to have your eye rollers in there. You have the people, gamers. There's lots of gamers that tend to be very cynical, right? Very cynical of people, may not or unapproachable, if you will. They just want to be in their own world and all that sort of stuff, and they don't want. And just like anything, a lot of these liberals, they don't want to be deprived of what they feel, they're entitled to. And these people are, in this right here, this is actually something that you're entitled. This is your property. You are entitled to it, right? You're not entitled to the property itself. Like, you're not entitled for somebody to just give it to you. But when you've purchased it and it belongs to you, this is mine. This is my property, right? So I'm entitled to do with it, what I will within reason, right? So they don't want somebody coming in and messing with that in any way. That I totally get. But if we're helping them to understand, it's like, look, you can't avoid that. All right? Liberals are coming in to intrude anyway. They're doing it right now. And a lot of the stuff that you feel angst about, but you feel like you don't have a voice and you just feel like you don't want to be a part of it and stay out of it, that causes the liberals to intrude even more. All right. Or a lot of times they use your lack of interest. They use that because does liberals thrive on ignorance. All right. No, I'm not saying you're being ignorant in terms of being stupid. It's like if you want to ignore it, I'm talking about that. And liberals thrive on that. They thrive on all kinds of ignorance. All right. So, this once again, and don't get me wrong, man. It's like I appreciate the input, and these aren't things that aren't being considered. We're not just looking at, there's a demographic of people that are playing video games. Let's go talk to them. It's like, no, we kind of understand. We kind of get the things that we'll be up against in terms of personalities, attitudes, disposition, and all that things like that. We're looking at it, and we're not looking at them like under a microscope and examining them like having someone we can do like this and this. No, because in a lot of ways we've been them. Right? It's more of a self-examination than it is an examination of them. Right? Because I used to love video games. I haven't been into video games for a long time, but I know the appeal. I know the feeling of it. I've been around people who love video games, right? Have friends who are into that. Got friends who are into video games now. So it's not more of just an examining, studying them and dissecting all that sort of stuff to know the most maximum effect. It's not like we're treating it like that. We're entertainers, and we're people who like to be entertained. That's the thing that we're looking at, and not just also looking at from some sort of self-reflecting point of view, as if we're being narcissists, just examining ourselves and, hey, well, this is what we would like. We expect other people to like it too. It's like, no, there's a little bit of both. It's like we're looking at, what they like, and we have the concern to, hey, man, I'd like to give you something that you would really appreciate for the right reasons. Make a product and make a connection and make a service with redeeming value, not just the point of, hey, this is a way that I can gain. We're not just looking at our gains, our personal gains. Look, man, we're trying to preserve, do our part to preserve this country as best that we can. That's what we're trying to do. And this is an avenue, this is a vehicle, an untouched vehicle that has been grossly ignored. All right. Let me see. How about this guy who calls himself Snarky Mark? Bill, that orange wedge is only as small as it is because of YouTube stifling conservative visibility. Very valid point. Very valid point. But here's the thing. And yes, we definitely know the shadow banning is thick. It's real big. And that is a big reason why conservative voices have been stifled so much. All the more reason to connect with this gamer and animation demographic, right? Because once you get in, if gaming is so visible, well, wouldn't you want to be wired into that? To help, it's like using that, grabbing that vine. You know, here's a vine that has fallen into the quicksand. You better grab it. You know what I'm saying? And you want to see if you can pull yourself out by it. That's what you want to be able to do. So this is a chance to gain some visibility by connecting with the gamers. All right. Let's see. John Negri says, sorry if I said your name wrong. 100% correct on this. I like, and let's just also do some positive responses too. Correct on this one, Bill. The younger generation is used to not thinking, but experiencing. So the most effective way to communicate with them would be through the interactive language of video games. Excellent point, right? Now, and I think that person is enough said, solid point. And I'm not trying to be a contrarian here. The thing that we're talking about experience. John is saying the younger generation is used to not thinking but experiencing. But what are games for? It's a form of escapism too. So you're wanting to step away from the experience of life and escape, right? So this industry of escapism, right, is where they are. And it's an auditory and visually stimulating experience in escapism. And it's what they want to experience. They want to basically safely experience danger, right? Now, maybe I was talking about like the NRA like earlier, and maybe that's one of the levels of aversion that they have about it. It's like these people, they want to pretend, they want to pretend the whole real fight, have like this catalog of guns and all this that they can switch between and stuff like that. Why don't you come on down here, man? Let's handle a real weapon. Talk to people who've actually seen combat. You guys want to go out there and pretend, to do these things. But it's maybe they see it's like, do you guys have any respect for the people who actually defended, a place where you could actually have, the freedom to be able to do the things that you're doing? Do you acknowledge these people at all? And like I said, you guys want to be able to experience these things, but you don't want to actually experience the danger that comes along with people that these stories are modeled after. When they do stuff like that, I don't know. But if that's something that they could get over, man, it's like what a fellowship that could be made, to be able to do those things. So, but you got like the liberal side of them is just wants the stimulating experience, where it's like the conservatives like more practical. It's like, look, man, that stuff that you guys are trying to do, try to do that stuff with the pressure of being under fire, like real fire yourself, and maybe that's just an area of communication that just needs to be rectified. Let me see, one more. This goes by McClue. This sounds like a good idea. I have been saying that you can't rely on reason and logic. They must have been saying that because they read my book, right? Reason and logic when it comes to getting an inroad to far too many of the indoctrinated, useful idiots. I didn't say that in my book, though. Of the left. I try to avoid calling people like stupid, and idiots. But sometimes it can't be held. It's like, dude, that's you be stupid. All right, I understand. I really hate to call people dumb and stupid, but sometimes it does come out, man. I don't blame you, McClue, of the left. Instead, you have hit them in their feelings. Ooh, did I kick you in your feelings? Ow, my feelings. Ow, my feelings. Instead you hit them in their feelings. With this, you can bring the truth, right? Bring them the truth into their entertainment sources. Been saying this ever since I started doing this. Back in 2007 is when I would start publishing my videos. Before that, it's like, dude, why don't we use mediums of entertainment to promote the truth? Why don't we do that? Why can't we pull our resources together to do that? And I don't know. And like I said, Bill is he's not the only one, but this effort right here is pretty ambitious, right? This is like talk about hitting somebody in their feelings, right? Anyway, with this, you can bring the truth in their entertainment sources and get them thinking and feeling based on the truth instead of the lies and misinformation that the left has been feeding. Man, it's like, you listened to my audiobook, didn't you? Right? You listened to it. But hey, great minds think alike, right? This is the kind of collective consciousness that we need. So y'all, that being said, I hope you guys will check out, I'll leave a link. Check out Bill's video. You probably don't have time today because I didn't talk too much. But, fit it into your schedule and check it out. Pray for the fruition of it, and or the fruitfulness of it. And, share it. Share the video, share it. The video is called Invisible. Make it visible. All right. Share that video. Share this video. Mm-hmm. Right. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys will, get these shirts, man, so people know where to get their head right. I got the white shirts too, man. It's summertime. You want to get that white shirt. I got these in white. I don't wear it for camera, y'all, because camera and white shirts, they don't get along. Right. So got the mugs. Make sure you get the mugs. Get your couple of head right. And drop a buck in the bucket to keep your bro Zoe on the go if you appreciate these videos, right? Because we got to do our part to promote truth, y'all. And I want to be able to get out this minimalistic box too, right? I got plans for the Zoloft, baby. I got plans for the Zopium there. Bronze Serpent Media wants to do some other stuff, man. Get me out of this box. I want out, right? Want to do other stuff, okay? So it's like, I've been exiled, man. I've been locked, in this box for too long, and I want to get out, right? But I love having you guys, but I don't want misery to love company, man. Nah, man, we want it. This is our little club in our little corner of the internet, right? In the internet's best kept secret. We'll be having our little party. I'll be having our sane space party. Aside from that global rubber room, so-called safe space that they got out there. So, but this is where we party, y'all. But we can do some other, fun stuff, man. And I hope that you guys will support at bronzeserpentmedia.com so we can, make these productions a little bit more stimulating without compromising the message. No compromise of truth, but deliver the message in more interesting ways to get, eyes on what it is we're doing and get people to say, I haven't thought, I never wanted to be involved. Never did. But now I know better than at least not let the liberals use me. I may not be like all about, the whole conservative, but I for sure ain't gonna let liberals use me, right? And be a drone for them, an unwitting drone, right? And of course, the more important objective is not to necessarily lead them to the Republican voting poll to pull the letter, which is good. Want to lead them to the Lord, man. That's the real thing. All right, rock on, y'all. Thank you guys for hanging out. Later. Push button. Finish him.